great way to network for future career goals. Find out more later in News 22.
We're here at the Student Center Cafe, where singer Jennifer Hayek rocked the house with her musical performance. This story coming up on News 22.
A station known for its news coverage is jumping into sports with both feet. I'm Ryan O'Connor. That story's coming up.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to News 22. I'm Craig Horsley.
And I'm Devin Green.
The presidential election bus is making its way around the United States. On Tuesday, McCain took over Vermont, Ohio, Texas, and Rhode Island. The Democratic side of the primaries is a little more competitive, with Clinton taking 3 of the states, Ohio, Texas, and Rhode Island, and Obama only taking Vermont. Even with Hillary Clinton taking 3 of the 4 states on Tuesday, Obama is still in the lead.
This information is well known to Eastern students, but is now official. Americans don't get enough sleep. This is according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who blame the late-night television, watching, surfing the internet, and other distractions. The CDC surveyed early 20,000 adults and found younger adults more likely to lose those who are older to report getting too little sleep. Sleep experts say that 3 is a strong association between chronic sleep loss and obesity, depression, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes.
In the past 2 weeks, Willimantic police officers have been strongly enforcing drug laws. They have arrested 8 people, one of which lived on Spring Street. The resident, Edwin Allers, was arrested for possession of narcotics with the intent to sell on Wednesday. Stay safe out on the streets of Willimantic, Eastern.
Governor Jody Rell announced Saturday that a new state website will be offered about tips to online safety. They need to fix the prompter. Mine is bold. Half words.
Family, friends.
See you later, Sarah.
Even not so friendly people. Think before you post.
The website contains information on how to stay safe online and also features links for information students, parents, and business owners and home computer users. Rel expressed student concerns about online dangers to children, saying, quote, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children estimated that 1 in 5 children online is sexually solicited. An alarming statistic no parent or guardian can afford to ignore. Taking time to monitor your children's online usage is an essential part of raising and caring for a child in this day and age.
The Movie of the Month series continues on Monday, March 10th with the film Selena. In the movie is the true story of a Texas-born Tehianaho singer who rose from cult status to performing in the Astrodome, as well as having chart-topping albums on the Latin music charts. In addition to Selena, the film I Am Legend will be shown on Tuesday, March 11th. You can see both films at 8 p.m. in the Student Center Theater.
And we will be right back with this week's editorial.
This portion of News 22 is brought to you by Asian Bistro.
Asian Bistro is a hibachi steakhouse, bar, and fusion sushi restaurant conveniently located in Eastbrook Mall. Asian Bistro offers only premium-grade ingredients prepared by professional chefs in a modern, clean, and simplistic atmosphere. The staff at Asian Bistro envisions, prepares, and presents every item of their food as a piece of art, following the traditions of Asian cultures from around the globe. Asian Bistro believes in a custom of friendship and encourages its patrons to be happy, be creative, and live long. And, as the Emperor said, let the party begin. Asian Bistro.
And we're back, and we have with us Michael Merritt for this week's editorial. Now, please remember, folks, the views expressed in this editorial are those of the writer and not of News 22.
Well, the results are in, and it's official. Barack Obama is the nominee for the Democrats. That's great news for the Democrats. Wait, what? Hold on. No. Oh, okay. I see. Well, all right then. Actually, it seems that Hillary Clinton did pretty well for herself on Tuesday. So you know what that means. Clinton's got the nomination. Good job for Clinton. Hold on again. Oh, okay. I understand now. Actually, it seems that while she did have pretty big wins in Ohio and Vermont, Texas was pretty close. So I guess that means that nobody has a nomination. All right, enough of the funny stuff. As you can see by my poor acting skills, I'm not happy about what's going on in the media and blogosphere during this primary season. It seems that every time a candidate gets a big win, the media and bloggers automatically declare the other irrelevant. 2 weeks ago, Clinton was set to win pretty big in both Ohio and Texas. By Tuesday, the media and bloggers were getting ready for the death of her campaign. Then the results came in, and it was like they were all shocked. Look, we've had so many surprises in this primary season that it becomes almost impossible to tell what's going to happen. All anybody can do in a situation like this is make some guesses and hope that they're right. Unlike with the Republicans, who have a winner-take-all system, the proportional nature of the Democratic primaries means that if you have close states, it might drag on for a while. Currently, the two candidates are only separated by about 100 delegates. I wouldn't be surprised to see their nomination race go into June, maybe even to the convention. All I'm saying is, don't try to call the game before all the cards are counted, because you might come out disappointed. After all, Mike Gravel is still officially a candidate. He might get the nomination. Devin and Cragen, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. The National Survey of Student Engagement is a brief survey taking only 15 minutes that could help Eastern students improve its educational value. Eastern has participated in this online survey for 3 years. Each year Eastern has used the program, administrators gain insight on how to improve the quality of students' experience at the school. Many students have received an email from President Nunez asking them to fill out this survey. If you have not but would like to have your voice heard, you can visit the NSSE website to have it forwarded to you.
For years, the University of Connecticut sports program has been televised on both local and national stations. Now, other colleges and even high schools can expect to have their athletes sharing the limelight, as 2 Connecticut television stations announced recently a joint effort to expand sports reporting across the state. News 22 correspondent Ryan O'Connor has more.
When WFSB moved into their new facilities this past July, it was their hopes to expand programming. Now, less than a year later, that is coming true. Teaming up with Connecticut Public Television, a new programming lineup has been announced specializing in Connecticut sports, both high school and smaller colleges such as Eastern. Fittingly, the name will be the Connecticut Sports Network. The hope of this, to put as many faces of student athletes on TV as possible.
If you put kids on television, I mean, I've been on TV 30 years, and if I know my daughter's going to be on, I'm going to go look for her.
Joe Zone says this is an exciting time for everyone as they begin something never tried before.
There's so many things out there that are already being done, but there's nothing really being done, all local high school sports. So we did those games, those state football games, and we taped them and did some live and reran them. But people liked them. It doesn't have to be the NFL. It doesn't have to be the NFL Network, where everything, it's got to have all the bells and whistles and big-time announcers. And it's kids playing games for state championships.
The idea of the joint venture came about after the 2 stations worked together in December on the state football championship games. With such a strong feedback towards the coverage, it was inevitable that the collaboration would happen a second time. No official network or channel will be devoted to this, but instead the programming will run on each of the station's primary and secondary channels. For WFSB and CPTV, it's the goal to get all across the state and bring as much sports to the station's viewers.
The idea is just to put kids on television and to put, all sports, high schools, small colleges, and eventually go 24/7, which is an amazing.
The first game will run on CPTV on Saturday, giving play-by-play at the girls' high school basketball state championships. WFSB will have its debut with CSN next Saturday with the boys' high school basketball state championship game. 4 hours a day has been devoted to the initial coverage, with the hope to increase that to a 24/7 feed. Zone adds that it's unclear of how well this will catch on, but who knows, this could be the next ESPN, and after almost 3 decades, that's become a household name. In Rocky Hill at WFSB, I'm Ryan O'Connor, News 22.
If you need a ride from campus to a local business, you should try Safe Rides. Safe Rides is a shuttle bus service that is available to students thanks to the Student Government Association. Buses are available Sunday through Wednesday from 8 to 12 p.m. and no longer take calls. The Safe Ride buses stop at the Schaefer, Occam, and Winthrop stops and will go to Eastbrook Mall, Walmart, and Stop and Shop. This service is free of charge for all students.
The Department of Motor Vehicles announces new statistics that support the need for the governor's task force. State officials said that these statistics are according to DMV spokesperson Bill Seymour, who is also an advisor to the task force. Seymour says that the new statistics enforce why making changes to the state's graduated driver's licensing laws are really life or death situation. Almost 7,000 teens are killed in car crashes each year in the United States. In Connecticut, 7 teens died last year in a 4-month period. One often more alarming statistics from 2007 is the number of suspensions and licenses that were temporarily taken away, which was up to 975. The number is small compared to 2,680. Speeding citations is sued to teens. Seymour says Governor Rell's proposals bring strong and quick suspensions on the first and second of defense. He adds that he believes taking teens who are speeding or drink and drive off the road will save lives. Some other recommendations include rolling back the teens driving curfew and changing the passenger restriction laws. More recommendations are expected to come as a result of these statistics.
On Monday, March 3rd, Eastern Scholastic College Bowl held its semifinal matches in Goddard 100. The teams that went head-to-head were economics, earth science, political science, and biochemistry. Students were asked a variety of questions ranging from movies and music trivia to political and biology-related questions. The matches were each 25 minutes long and appealed to both teams' majors. The teams that will be advancing to the final matchup next Monday, March 10th at 8 p.m. will be economics and biochemistry. News 22 wishes both those teams the best of luck.
Friday After Dark is sponsoring its second We Are All Guitar Heroes event. The event will take place on Friday, March 7th at 7 p.m. in the Betty Tipton Room of the Student Center. This event will feature a Guitar Hero event and a Wii Sports event. Be sure to check it out because you could walk away with a PlayStation 2 or a Wii system.
Having healthy teeth and gums is important for everybody. To provide information on the subject, Health Services will hold a dental awareness program on Tuesday, March 11th. Come to the library at 4 p.m. to get the information about keeping your smile bright and healthy.
Eastern is the host to many distinguished guests from all over the world. Throughout the school year, reporter Megan Fox got the chance to talk with Marie-Therese Goncalves from Burney, South Africa.
This week, Marie-Therese Goncalves came to Eastern to talk about her native South African country, Benin. Marie-Therese Goncalves, a native of the South African country Benin, is a journalist, activist, and UNICEF worker. Her passion and persistence to bring change to her country is truly remarkable. Dr. Mama, an English professor at Eastern and former Benin UNICEF co-worker, brought Marie-Therese Goncalves to Eastern to further spread the issues of Benin. I had the privilege to sit down with this remarkable woman and with Dr. Mama translating, talk to her about Benin. And why is it important to come to the United States and talk about this?
Pourquoi pensez-vous que c'est important de venir aux États-Unis pour parler de la... I came because there is wonderful openness here. There is a deep-seated interest in learning about Benin. And can you imagine how many people work together to bring me here? It really is a wonderful thing. There is such warmth, such open-mindedness, and such eagerness to learn and to know. was her mama played an important part in bringing me here to plead on behalf of the Beninese women to champion the cause.
Make sure to keep a lookout for more speakers that come to Eastern. For News 22, I'm Megan Fox.
Thanks, Megan. Be sure to keep a lookout for the next speaker to come to Eastern to broaden your worldly horizons.
Eastern had a special guest at this week's University Hour. Reporter Dan Pegnataro has a story.
Every Wednesday, Eastern hosts the University Hour at 3 o'clock. For this week, Gordon Titcomb was our guest.
When I was your age, I would play anytime I wasn't doing something else that was required of me. Basically, I was playing music. And if you're really serious about wanting to do this, you have to spend that kind of time playing. Not just practicing, but playing.
Titcomb, who grew up in Litchfield County, came to Eastern to talk about creating and composing music to students and also gave aspiring musicians advice on how to become successful and how to get their music out into the public. I got the pleasure to interview him after his lecture.
Well, I didn't tour with Paul Simon. I worked with him for a couple of years doing his Broadway show, The Cape Man. That was back in the late 90s. And I've actually worked with a lot of different groups over the years. I just finished 5.5 years playing with Arlo Guthrie. And I've worked with some other folks you might know, a couple of Grammy winners, Sean Colvin, Jim Lauderdale, Blood, Sweat and Tears, and a number of other artists. Actually, this is the second such lecture I've given. I don't usually speak at universities. Typically, I either teach music or work as a recording artist or performing artist. Young people want to pursue a music career. You could basically take and condense the things that I talked about today, and the really important ones are practice, really become good at what you do as a musician. The other thing is become aware of what people want from you, and I mean, when I say that, what I mean is they want you to support their idea. So when you're working as a musician, as an artist behind the artist, they're looking for you to fulfill their music. So you're not there to show everybody how fast you can play or how great you can play. You're there to take the artist you're working for's song and make that song sound as good as it can. And what you do to get to that point of proficiency is to practice, is to play with other people, is to really become aware of music in a broader sense maybe than what it is you normally do.
Be sure to keep an eye out for other University Hour events that are held here on campus. For News 22, I'm Dan Pegnataro.
Next week's University Hour will host Professor Ashton Malratha from SUNY Onyeda in the Johnson Room in the library.
Do you need an internship or are seeking job opportunities? Then Career Services is the place to go. Reporter Elizabeth Hilton has more.
Wednesday, March 5th, the annual Liberal Arts Career Fair took place in the Geisler Gymnasium. Over 60 employers were here to recruit the next generation of employees. Companies from police departments to environmental agencies were represented at the fair. I sit down with a couple of employers to find out what they were seeking.
Today we are looking for entry-level environmental specialists, and we also offer an environmental internship as well.
Today we are seeking pretty much anybody with a 4-year degree to go into a special agent position. Special agent requires the ages be between 23 and 36 when you apply, have a 4-year degree and 3 years of work experience. And that's for the agent position, and you are relocated. We do have internships. We have an honors internship and some non-paid internships, and those are all on our website at www.fbi.jobs.gov. And we also hire for professional support positions, which can vary from secretaries to financial analysts. We have our own automotive mechanics, file clerks, secretaries. Support service technicians is the big one.
Students got the chance to speak to employers one-on-one and hand out their resumes. A few students expressed their opinions on the fair.
Well, I haven't really been to a career fair before, and I think it's been really great so far. I'm not familiar with most of the companies, so it might have helped a little bit better if there was some that I was more familiar with or if I had done some research beforehand, but it's been very beneficial. I've handed out my resume to a lot of people, and it's been great so far. It's been a good experience.
I think it's a good fair. It's a little crowded for me, kind of hard to like move around and find what I'm looking for. But overall, I think it's a good opportunity for students to give out their resumes and helps them put their foot in the door with companies.
The department that put on this incredible fair is Career Services. Nancy DiCrincenzo tells us more.
Career Services is part of the Division of Student Affairs, so we supply lots of events and programming and support for students. In Career Services, of course, in particular, we're all about career development. So we work with students who have interest in choosing a major, finding internships, new summer jobs, and planning for their long-term goals. So we have career counseling sessions to help them identify what they're interested in and what kinds of paths they might want to follow, and then we take them through the entire process, helping them find meaningful internships, co-ops, and hopefully eventually full-time jobs and graduate programs.
Be sure not to miss upcoming events like these to find out more about internships and job opportunities. For News 22, I'm Elizabeth Hilton.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Make sure to take advantage of the opportunities that are given through Career Services to find internships, work on your resume, and achieve your goals.
Want some entertainment? During lunch, then head on over to the Brown Bag Concert tomorrow at noon in Schaefer Auditorium. Bring your lunch and enjoy performances by Eastern's music students.
On Monday, March 3rd in the Student Center Cafe, CAB presented another successful night of the Coffee House series, featuring the young, soulful sounds of Jennifer Hayek. Reporter Jen Shaler has more on the story.
Singer-songwriter Jennifer Hayek performed here at ECSU as part of Eastern's Coffee House series. The series features different singers and songwriters a couple times every semester. Hayek writes her own indie music from her house in Pittsford, New York. Her sound can be described as a combination of Janis Joplin and Alanis Morissette with the piano skills of Elton John. Presently, she is working on her 5th EP. She also works in retail for GotDenim.com and as a dental assistant for her father. Although her schedule with these 3 jobs is very busy, Eastern was lucky enough to get her to perform for us as part of the Coffee House series.
Well, we found her on MySpace. Our entertainment coordinator, Stephanie, found her on MySpace, contacted her agent, and did all the workings through there. It depends who it is. The band that came Thursday, I think, appealed more to like the male side of campus, so there was like 70 people here. This one and a few others, you get a lot of girls to come too.
We caught up with Jennifer after her performance to get to know a little bit more about her.
Well, I've been doing it ever since I was a little girl. I have my mother, who is a singer. She's crazy, but I love her. 2 sisters, and they both sing and play. Musical family, and we've been just doing it ever since we were kids. I have an agency that I work with through NACA, and gave me a call, and they said, yeah, you want to play Eastern Connecticut? I said, oh, do I want to play Eastern Connecticut? Of course I do. Yes, and that's how I got here. I would definitely consider it a variety of music, everything from jazz to classic rock. Love classic rock. In the very beginning stages of my career, it was all the female empowerment type singers, Tori Amos, Natalie Merchant, Fiona Apple, Sarah McLachlan was huge to me. But I really like John Mayer right now, like probably one of my all-time favorites. The man is talented across the board. Everybody that is the full package, that can write and sing and then put it on stage.
Over the years, Hayek has gathered a loyal fan base through performing colleges in the eastern United States, performing as Enya's backup singer on Regis and Kelly, and performing on CBS's morning show, Second Cup Cafe. For News 22, I'm Jen Shaler.
Thanks, Jen. Be sure to catch the next Coffee House series on April 14th in the Student Center Cafe.
Kirsten Homestead, author of the book Band of Sisters, will speak at the Women's Center next Wednesday, November 12th. Homestead's book looks at American women at war in Iraq. You can see Homestead on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
And we'll be right back after this break with this week's sports update.
we're back with us, and we have Jen Shaler in the studio for sports. Jen?
Thanks. Eastern's women's basketball team is playing their best basketball at the right time. The Warriors captured their third Little East championship this past weekend. They defeated Southern Maine 65-60 in overtime. It was the second time this season the Warriors had won in Southern Maine. Nikki Morey led the way 21 points, and Ashley McFetrich added 14, and was named Most Outstanding Player of the tournament. Eastern received conference automatic bid to the NCAA tournament and will play this Friday. They will play in Scranton, Pennsylvania against the University of Rochester at 5:45 p.m. The broadcast link is available on Eastern Athletics website. The last time the Warriors made the NCAA tournament, they made it all the way to national title game before losing by 2 points. Good luck, girls. On the subject of women's basketball, Ashley McFetrich is this week's Athlete of the Week. Nick DeLizio brings us to the courts.
For this week's Blarney's Athlete of the Week, we chose junior center Ashley McFetrich of the women's basketball team. McFetrich was named Most Outstanding Player in the LEC tournament. She helped lead the Warriors to the conference championship by averaging 18 points and 8.3 rebounds. She also shot 50% from the floor and was 16 of 23 from the foul line. This past Tuesday, she was named Little East Player of the Year. We got a chance to talk with Ashley about this past season and her accomplishments.
Well, I'm very honored. This season's very long. We've put in a lot of hard work starting in October and even before, so I'm very honored that I'm recognized. Well, in the playoffs, it's really important just to stay focused and do everything that you can to stay healthy, because it's very tiring. Basketball is a very exhausting, long sport, long game, and you just really have to mentally just stay focused and not worry about statistics or anything like that, and just play. That's what I go by. We're preparing in a lot of different ways. We just have to basically go with our coach, trust our coach 100%, because we're playing Rochester University. They're not in our conference. We've never played them before. So we're waiting to get some scouting report stuff on them, but we just really have to focus on playing our game, and hopefully that should be good enough. Well, for this season, we hope to make it far into the NCAAs. We have a really good team. This would be the year to do it, definitely. We have a lot of talent. So definitely make it past the first round, second round, and just utilize our talent to the best of our ability, and that should take us far. And then for next year, we really have to focus on the off season, getting stronger. We're losing 16 years, like I said, so we have to get some recruits in here, get them working, and just stay positive, because we'll have 3 starters returning. So that's great. Our main advantage is that we have 6 seniors. One just got hurt, unfortunately, our starting point guard, but these girls will step it up enough, and we're confident in everybody on the team. And another advantage is our height. Our posts are very mobile. We have great defense, so I think everything should work for us.
Stay tuned next week for Blarney's Athlete of the Week. For News 22, I'm Nick DeLizio.
Thank you, Nick. The men's lacrosse team opened up their season with a game against RPI. The Warriors trailed by 1 at the half, but were shut out in the third period and lost 14-8. DJ Simmons, Tyler Prescott, and Pete Hamilton all had 2 goals for the Warriors. Kyle Savage made 12 saves in goal. The Eastern Connecticut State University boys and girls indoor track teams has still been conquering their opponents even with the closing of their season. For the boys, Dinas placed 4th in the high jump at the New England Open. The baseball team kicked off its season this week. The Warriors traveled to Rutgers University to take on Keene University. Keene was last year's national champion. The Cougars capitalized on 5 Eastern errors and went on to win 9-2. Melvin Castillo was a perfect 3 for 3. Eastern took on Stevens Tech. All-American Sean Gilblair earned his 20th career win by leading the Warriors to a 9-1 win. Gilblair gave up 1 hit and struck out 8 in 6 innings. Jim Schultz and Tristan Hobbs both drove in 2 runs for Eastern. That's it for sports this week. I'm Jen Shaler. Devin and Cragen, back to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, Jen. Be sure to check out our address. It's www.news22.org. For News 22, I'm Cragen Horsley.
And I'm Devin Green. Have a great night, Eastern.